So I'll say right now, without any hyperbole whatsoever, I think if we could change the name of this god awful pay per view, I think that a lot of people would probably have respected it for doing a lot of great things tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Call it something else, please. I can't call it bad at all. I mean, it was a very solid show, but
Should we call it WWE? The firefighters are fucking shit at their job.
I'm down with that. And it's very true. It's an accurate statement. Welcome to another edition of a WWE pay-per-view podcast, this time being for the Raw brand, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. My name is Owen. Joining me as always is Ashley. I have been in constant looking for Bullet Club shirts at Hot Topic and calling pretty much daily to try to find out that their warehouse is completely sold out. So I have to wait about 3 weeks according to their Twitter feed. And with working as much as I have and doing a bunch of stuff over the weekend with Scott actually being in town, I will say right now that I was pretty blown up tonight and I did not stay awake as long as I would have liked to. So, yeah. Once again, it's going to be the Ashley show as always. I'll do what I can because I did get to see a little bit of it.
The thing is, I think once again the best match was actually on the bloody pre-show.
I'm not surprised, and that's the one I missed, of course.
The pleasing thing is actually the crowd was actually into Neville and Tozawa.
That's how it should be.
Way more than it normally is, so it was good to see the Dallas crowd actually be receptive.
It's a wrestling crowd, though. Dallas is a wrestling hotbed and always has been.
Tozawa did quite a few topes early to take that, Randy. You also did hit the senton off the top rope.
The Dick Togo
big Neville rolled out the ring, so he never got the chance to capitalize. But it was good back and forth. There was, I think, Neville had the submission on. No, I think Tozawa was going for a submission, but Neville made it to the ropes. Very much akin to sort of Ishii having to roll his body round to get to stop the submission from Sabre Jr. Obviously, it wasn't the same exactly, but he certainly had to. Neville had to move his body quite a bit in order to get to the rope, so somewhat similar. But yeah, basically the finish was sort of a bit of a shame for what was a good match, because Neville crotched Tozawa on the top rope, kicked the top rope to do more damage, and then he was obviously hitting his groin, and Neville spin kicked him to the gut and just pinned him. No finisher.
Well, considering the fact Neville really doesn't have a challenger anymore because Austin Aries was given his release from the company, there's really not many options right now.
Then again, Tozawa, did we have this? I'm trying to think. They didn't properly. I haven't got it in my notes, but there was a bit backstage where I think Tozawa was asking for a rematch.
You're correct.
Did they specify when?
No, but I would have thought immediately they jumped to 205 Live, but I guess not.
No. Have the title change at SummerSlam.
Screw it. Have the title change tomorrow. They like this whole flash booking.
Remember, it's Brooklyn.
Yeah, but they put the US.
That crowd is very Dragon Gate.
They put the U.S. title on AJ Styles out of the blue. So, on a house show, even though it was an MSG show.
It's an MSG show. It's weird. I would say MSG shows are above house shows.
Yeah.
They're always the special things. So, So, Seth versus Bray. All the hype, all the build-up. Interesting. Not good, not bad either. The finish was basically the ref got distracted, so where he did the finger poke of doom, except for real this time, and then hit in with Sister Abigail. Yeah, it was a very slow pace, methodical affair. Rollins did get the comeback, but you know, I don't know whether Seth was calling it. It felt like Seth was calling it in. Seth was really not in good shape. So I don't know.
Oh, weird. he did the deal, so that's all that ever matters.
Yeah. So then we had Caruso interviewing the Hardys.
Welcome, Jeremy.
And of course, he said that Matt was just talking regularly, and then he said it'd be delightful. And of course, the crowd would go, delete. And Jeff said, you know, we're in the first tag team tables match, we're in the first tag team ladder match, we're in the first TLC match. So it's only fair that we're in the first 30-minute tag team Iron Man match. I like the fact that they say that, and then it's like, well, there's been 60-minute tag team Iron Man matches previously in other promotions, so, you know. But then again, of course, it's WWE. They never happened. Then again, there's been 60-minute draws, I guess. So that would sort of be the same thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, don't forget the ladder match started out for Stampede Wrestling.
No, but I'm saying even in WWE, they must have had 60-minute time limit draws in the tag division.
I'm positive of it. I'd say like Heart Foundation, like matches with the Brain Busters, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So then Enzo did a big. They had the video package, and then they had a 5-minute segment where he was basically comparing himself and Cass to "That's Life" by Sinatra.
Yeah, I'll give him credit though here, Ashley. Enzo was very downplayed, and I actually liked him better here.
Yes, but at the same time, what is this on a pay-per-view for?
There was no reason for it to be on a pay-per-view. It should have been on Raw tomorrow.
That's the problem. It was good for what it was, definitely. Yeah. You know, but it's like, did it need to be on here? Yeah, if it hadn't, this show might have finished on time.
Yeah.
As it turned out. You know, Cass is 7 foot tall. That's all he is. And Enzo's about to become a larger-than-life star. And in about 6 minutes, Big Cass won in a ridiculous one-sided squash, as if this was Hulk Hogan versus insert jobber name here from 1985.
Vince McMahon likes big sexy man.
Yeah.
And what's up with Cass's new entrance theme?
Well, I'm just pleased it's a new entrance theme, because the past couple of weeks it's been bloody just Enzo's music, but a different bit of it.
It just feels really like something that was left on the cutting room floor of NXT that they didn't want to use.
Well, after all the issues that they had with somebody leaking the unused music.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
By the way, apparently because of that, they don't like Jim Johnson. And they like CFO $, because CFO $, are way cheaper. Wow. I bet CFO $, are now going to charge higher for their fucking work. That's a burial.
You really had to struggle to find a word to fit there, didn't you?
Well, no, I think it's pretty harsh because, you know, CFO $, have given us Glorious.
Well, yeah, but they've also given us some garbage.
They've given, yeah, but they got to me, it's incredible that they got probably the same amount of money paid for doing that to do Big Cass's music.
Pedro says, "Let us all bow our heads down to the debut and death of the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view."
I need to quickly check something downstairs, so I don't know whether you can handle the Iron Man match for a bit.
Oh yeah, I actually did see this one. We're good.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be back.
All right, so we went into our Iron Man match. Obviously, we've been teasing Matt's delving even further and further into Broken Brilliance. But of course, he's not really doing much. He's still doing the delete, which works quite well. So tag belts on the line, 30-minute Iron Man match, a first in WWE, officially an Iron Man match. I mean, there's been, like Ashley alluded to earlier, there's been 30-minute Broadways that have been in the tag division throughout time. But this is the first time that was ever done in a stipulation where it was an Iron Man match. Like right off the get-go, like immediately, Sheamus goes to start the match. Cesaro and Sheamus actually do start the match. Cesaro powders to the floor, and then this allows a distraction for Matt to get decimated with a brogue kick, and right away, Cesaro and Sheamus are up 1-0. So they go back and forth for a while. They work over the Hardys, and then Sheamus and Cesaro hit their double team, which is, of course, the Tandem Air Raid Crash, which I absolutely hate. And they get the win, so they're up 2-0. So they work Jeff over for quite a bit. Jeff finally gets the hot tag. Matt comes in like a house of fire, and he gets the running bulldog after bouncing Cesaro off literally all 3 turnbuckles in the corner. And then he dives with the elbow to the back of the neck for an ear fall. Jeff tags in. They hit Poetry in Motion. Side effect from Matt. Twist of Fate from Jeff. 1, 2, 3, and Hardys go with 1 fall up. So Cesaro and Sheamus are up 2. Then for some reason, they go back and forth for a little bit longer. They start working on the outside. And Matt and Sheamus are are battling on the floor. Matt rolls Sheamus back in. And this allows Cesaro to Pearl Harbor Matt from behind, send him into the ring post. So because the legal man is Sheamus, Matt gets counted out, and Sheamus and Cesaro go up 3-1. So good stuff here. Cesaro goes like a house of fire, and of course Matt ends up going for a backslide. And this was a really unique pinning predicament. So Matt goes for the backslide because Cesaro locks the sharpshooter on. Jeff breaks it up right before the tap out, and with Cesaro's European uppercuts, the Swiss uppercuts in the corner, Matt gets whipped to the outside, tagging Jeff. Matt backslides Cesaro, and once again, Jeff jumps down, drops the legs across the legs, and gets the pin because, again, he's the legal man, so a turnabout is fair play. So Sheamus ends up getting tagged in. Matt Hardy tagged in. So Sheamus goes to the Finley roll. Matt into a tornado DDT, gets an ear fall. Twist of Fate countered by Cesaro's distraction. Matt gets taken up top, and Sheamus goes for a belly to back superplex. Matt gets knocks Sheamus to the canvas. Long day. Matt with a moonsault, and Cesaro breaks up the pin right before the 3 count. Sheamus up top. Matt hits a Twist of Fate off the buckle for the 3 count. We're up 3, all with 3 minutes left. Hot tag Jeff comes in, goes for the Swanton. Cesaro pulls Sheamus out. So Jeff dives into both men on the outside. Sheamus gets rolled back in the ring. Sheamus gets nailed with stereo top rope splashes from the Hardys. And Jeff with a cover. Cesaro saves. Matt tags in. Clothesline. Cesaro blind tags in, unbeknownst to Matt. Jeff hits the Swanton on Sheamus. Cesaro comes in, rolls up Jeff, and gets the 3. So Cesaro and Sheamus are up 4-3. Matt got busted open hard way above his eyebrow. Jeff hits a Twist of Fate, covers Cesaro, and just like Ashley prophesized off camera, the time expires, New Japan style, before the referee complete the 3 count. So Cesaro and Sheamus retain with 4-3 odds. Really solid match between these two. Once again, ever so slightly, Matt keeps delving further and further into Broken Brilliance, and it's going to be too much for him before too much longer, and it's going to happen. We are going to see, once everything goes through, we're going to see a turn, and it's going to be amazing when it finally happens. Pedro says he was excited for the match, and then what Sheamus did, they knew they were going to be running out of time, typical WWE stuff. I mean, the match was solid, though, Pedro. I really enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, they went 30 minutes. They had 4 guys that definitely know how to put a match together. Sheamus is a little bit on the reckless side, but I mean, he was kept to a minimum in this match, so it worked really well. Cesaro was able to basically take the brunt of most of it, and Sheamus came in every once in a while for heat, so it worked really well for me. Direction to go from here, I would say on Raw we formulated a new top contender to tag belts. The only issue is don't really have many tag teams on Raw that are believable because they've basically they squashed out the whole tag division. I can say that on both brands, but one more so than another. I mean, they were obviously the Revival are back, but F the Revivals didn't really matter. So it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sheamus is just weird. Like ever since what happened with Jeff and busting his teeth open, like I was literally kicking his teeth down his throat, quite literally. Sheamus has been. I know Brian went after Sheamus. I know a lot of people went after Sheamus, but I mean, he had a really rough night, and it's good to see that this match went over without a hitch. There was no. I mean, obviously there was busted open spot in this match, of course, because Matt got busted open above the eyebrow. So, but it wasn't so much that took away from the match. Most likely Sheamus caused it. I mean, I hate to throw any blame, but I mean, it's probably correct. I'd have to go back and check the match again to make sure when it happened. I can say the same thing about another match later on in the card. But yeah, by and large, I enjoyed the match. Yeah, Pedro says, I'm glad they carried out as best they could. I completely agree with you. Ashley is not returned yet, so we're going to move on to our next match. Perhaps. So, yeah, I mean, it was good. Well, it's going to be curious to see where we go from here, to be honest. So, I don't think Ashley is back yet. I hear him rustling around a little bit, so it sounds like he's almost back, but I can't really tell. And of course, I'm having issues with my notes right now. So, I mean, it makes it even better for live broadcast. But we should be fine soon enough. But yeah. I mean, the match was about as good as it could possibly be here. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a decent match between two, like I said, four guys that definitely know how to put a match like this together. And they did. And it worked. So we move forward. And we move forward with our next match. So we have the Women's Championship on the line. Alexa Bliss defending against Sasha Banks. Yeah. This match was solid for what it was as well. Interesting back and forth here. So Alexa at one point went up for the Twisted Bliss, and Sasha countered into the Banks statement. Alexa grabs the ropes and then uses momentum to carry her to the floor. Sasha follows outside, sends her into the barricade, rolls Alexa back in the ring. Alexa decides, nope, not going to like that. Continue momentum, roll to the outside. And she's trying to intentionally get counted out so she can retain the title. So at this point, she goes up to the ramp. Sasha charges after. And then Sasha gets sent head first into the announce table. And then Sasha gets pulled up on the announce table. And Alexa goes for the DDT to the table. Sasha shoves her off the table and then hits Meteora from the announce table to the floor. Referees check on Alexa, and Sasha stands tall on top of the announce table.
Oh, sorry about that. I am back. Where do I need to join on?
Well, I mean, I just finished Alexa and Sasha, so.
Okay. In terms of brief thoughts on it, Sheamus, Cesaro, and Hardy's was pretty good.
Right.
Nice little eventful thing. I thought they were going to do it as sort of a Matt and Jeff are about to get the win, you know, a la bloody Okada Omega. But was it shenanigans that got Sheamus and Cesaro that 4 fall? I can't remember.
Basically, it was a blind tag. And they were Jeff was trying to finish Sheamus off when Cesaro was the legal man. So Cesaro ended up getting a win off that.
Yeah. And with the women's stuff, I actually thought it was interesting to have the finish because I don't think that was what they were going to do. It doesn't seem right and everything.
Pedro says very back and forth. It felt like a Raw match, but had good moments. I'm guessing she'll drop the title with Sasha tomorrow. I hope not. Would not surprise me though, but I hope not.
They're building it to something, I'd have thought.
I definitely see that, but I mean, I don't want it to be just yet.
Considering we have got 7 weeks until SummerSlam.
Right.
Is it 6? I can't even. Yeah, it might be 6. There's enough that you can have things change and have it. I wouldn't say have the rematch either. So then Miz versus Ambrose.
Miz with lawyer Curtis Axel and Juice Robinson in his corner.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Curtis Axel was wanting to sell me insurance.
I'm pretty sure there's obviously going to be a rematch because the Skull Crushing finale did come after bloody Bo Dallas hitting Ambrose with a Bulgarian object.
We'll go with that.
And although I did like the touch that Maurice got Miz's foot on the rope.
That was good.
To break the cover. That was nice. But, I mean, you know, 3 straight things.
I mean, there's some good stuff in this match. Miz got worked the knee, of course, setting up the figure 4. I like the tree of Joey Lawrence with the drop kicks to the knee. I thought that was unique. Ambrose with a great butterfly superplex. I thought that worked really well. And Miz with the S kicks, and Ambrose ducks the final one, does the buzzsaw, and of course, Ambrose heads up with the diving elbow drop, which I absolutely hate. Skull Crushing finale countered, and of course, this leads to shenanigans. Miz busted Ambrose's mouth at one point, and that was crazy. And the finish worked really well for me. Skull Crushing finale out of absolute nowhere, and Ambrose loses. Well, not clean, but Ambrose lost about as clean as you can get with interference. It was definitive, basically, is what it was. But with the babyface not winning, obviously that means that we're still continuing this feud that will not die from SmackDown. Pedro says Bayley's shot is basically dead in the water. There's no way of getting her built back up after what happened. I feel like they're going to give them one more match for SummerSlam. It's not going to be done with them unless they throw Elias Samson into the rivalry. It sounds to me like Elias Sampson's facing Finn Balor at SummerSlam.
And the hype goes mild. So then we get to the ambulance match, your main event of the evening, because that's what it fucking felt like.
Yeah, even though it did feel like an elongated episode of Raw.
It was sort of your regular sort of ambulance / hardcore match.
Right.
Back and forth, doing all the spots, slamming him into the side of the ambulance, slamming him into the floor. Not very much in the ring from what I remember to some extent.
No.
The one thing I will give credit for is that finish.
It's very unique in this situation.
No, it made sense. Reigns is so focused on the spear. Braun dodges it, basically uses the momentum to throw Roman into the back, shuts the door, and that's it. Except it wasn't.
It definitely was.
Because Reigns burst out going, I'm not finished with you yet, Braun. Speared him, smacked the ambulance door into him over and over and over and over and over and over. Threw him in the ambulance, shut the doors, went to the front, yanked out the driver, sped off, I think breaking some kid's arm off because he put the bloody hand out, not realizing that Roman's going to drive it at 40 kilometers an hour out the building. And then cut to pre-record.
Yeah.
Because he drove it out and stopped and was looking in the mirror, and I'm going, where to, Stephanie? Where? Oh no, it's where do you think you're going, Braun?
That's exactly right.
And I'm guessing they must have had a GoPro stuck to the back of the trailer.
That makes the most sense.
That shot was very well done as it was reversing on and on and on and on. And just like old school Attitude Era, he reversed it straight into one of the trailers. And Roman gets out, I guess sort of winded, because whether it was actually him that reversed the thing in, who knows? Probably not. They could have easily jump cut it.
Yeah, they jumped
and then Kurt comes out as if he's like a pregnant sort of baby. Like coming out with his hands out like, what's going on? Like a sort of crab that can't get his hands up, so he's doing them down instead. Like what's it? And then it's like, call 911, and it's like, well, it's an ambulance. I think they are 911.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue.
So then it was like, okay, Slater and Hawkins are having some fucking match. I can't remember who won. Slater won, I think, didn't he?
Hold on. This I'll give them complete credit for. So you are telling me that all this crazy stuff happened and Roman Reigns just tried to commit vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah, and he's gonna get a title shot.
Yeah. We reward attempted murder in WWE. Anyway, be a star, kids. So the thing is, you had all this happen. They sent Kurt Hawkins and Heath Slater to the ring like they would for real if it was really happening. You saw Slater came out, he was putting on his wrist tape, and Hawkins was adjusting his kick pads. I like the way they did that because it felt real. Like if this was really happening and it wasn't part of any sort of storyline, that's what you would do. You would throw out an impromptu match to get the fans to completely forget what's going on. Even though the finish of the match was the Jaws of Life and the bell.
I don't know whether these fire truck people know how to work a Jaws of Life.
I don't think so, because my God, they totally could have cut that hole in that door a lot easier.
So they basically managed to get the door open, and Strowman was blood on his face, blood on his arm, blood on his elbow, everything. I mean, it wasn't, you could tell it wasn't real blood, this one.
Right.
But he just got up on his own and was staggering around, and they're like, we need to check you. And he just walked off, and Kurt's face is just like the creature from the back lagoon has just met Godzilla. Like, whoa!
I've said this before. He was like Max Cady in Cape Fear, Robert De Niro, and it's just like,
Yeah.
no matter what he did, it wasn't enough to put him down.
As he walked off, he was like, "Leave me alone." So the heel just got a face bloody Lazarus thing.
Adam Pacitti.
I love this company.
Adam Pacitti posted a picture of Roman Reigns from back in the God, it looks like the Leah K days actually, and it says "Wanted for attempted murder. Please retweet to help find this individual." I would gladly retweet this. It's a mugshot, actually. That's hilarious. Yeah, Slater wins, but we don't know what happened. I mean, he could have had to hit the greatest move in the history of ever. You know what Tenacious D talked about, the greatest song in the world, but he couldn't remember it, so it was only a tribute version of it. This is what it could have been. It could have been the greatest wrestling move in the history of all times, but nope, never going to see it because the jaws of life were too important.
Isn't that when he got arrested?
Yeah, that's his mugshot when he got arrested. Thank you, random mugshot website on the internet.
What an utter face Roman is for vehicular manslaughter.
So he's Randy Orton. He's Randy Orton now.
Yeah. So at this time we're going, hold the phone.
Yeah.
We've got 15 minutes left, and we're only going to the main event of Lesnar versus Joe. How much time are they going to give it?
Which bothers me because this was the one match on this card that I was excited for than anything else.
4 to 5 minutes of build-up, and then 2 to 3 minutes of entrances and introductions.
Right.
So Heyman introduces Lesnar, but of course Lesnar has his back turned, so Joe goes after him, and then Uranagi's him through a table outside. So there's the obligatory table spot. And Lesnar got in smiling, and they started the match, and Joe kept going for the choke, but Lesnar kept powering out. And Lesnar was doing Germans and everything, and Joe kept, it was like Suplex City meets choke, coquina clutch. And the last one, he was about to be out for the count, grabbed him, F5'd him, and apparently that was enough that was needed.
I'm telling you, Pedro said this, and I agree 100%. Both Joe and Brock were sucking wind, something fierce, and they were sweating profusely. I mean,
it's a shame it was so short, but it had the impact that it needed to, of course.
What it did, honestly, it whet your appetite for their eventual rematch. And it's going to happen because no matter what, Joe and Lesnar has been the storyline on Raw that people have been gravitating towards. So it's going to happen. And we're going to get Joe and Lesnar like a full match down the line. It should have been tonight, but like I said, this was just to whet your appetite for the main event. Whenever that may be, when they face off and they give them like 20 minutes plus to go. It was very impactful. I mean, I enjoyed what they did. They had
I'd say overall it was a good show, filled with sort of some average matches and some good to interesting ones, even if they, even if they weren't good matches, they certainly had the interest. The Reigns Strowman match for its ending alone is probably worth checking out. Lesnar Joe, I think the logic behind that was pretty solid.
Agreed.
Really, because Samoa Joe basically, that's all Samoa Joe had. If he didn't have the clutch, the match would have been open and finish in 10 seconds. We would have had a Goldberg Owens situation.
Yeah.
Miz and Ambrose has happened too many times.
Yeah.
Bliss and Banks, the count out was good. The Iron Man match was pretty good. Cass obliterating Enzo, I'm in mixed thoughts about, but it's certainly putting over Cass. Although, if you did note from King Ross's Twitter, they managed to get a shot where Cass was covering the C with his head, so his Titantron technically read Big Ass.
Yes, of course it did.
And Rollins Wyatt was probably the only one that underperformed on all the show because Neville Tozawa was pretty good. Weird.
That's crazy.
So there you go. Be interesting to see how they follow this up tomorrow in San Antonio as we start the long road to the Slam of Summer.
Are we going to get our obligatory Shawn Michaels cameo tomorrow?
Maybe. I wouldn't promise it.
I guess we'll see.
We'll see
by and large, the show was good. It was a solid show that really needed to be renamed.
Yeah, that's the only thing that overshadows it. Great balls.
Thank you,
he
Vince.
Said the word balls.
Thank you, Vince McMahon. Because I know it's your fault this horrible title exists. Yeah, check it out if you get a chance. I mean, ignore the pay-per-view name and just enjoy it. It's pretty good. I think it's going to be your show tonight. Tomorrow, we're back here for Raw, right after Raw concludes. Wednesday, we're back here on the Wednesday show for Wednesday night. That's going to be after 9 p.m. And Thursday, back for Sip and Snack. Friday, AJ's movie reviews, War of the Planet of the Apes, new verses. We got Gaming with Ash coming back. And just put out earlier tonight, it was late. It was because of AJ's situation with his transportation over the weekend. But yes, the review of Spider-Man Homecoming is available on this network, so check it out. Along with the verses that came out yesterday of The Fugitive versus The Hunted. So check that out if you get a chance. Yes, Pedro, I literally saw the flaming balls. It was the logo. So
balls.
To be honest, it kind of reminded me of Dodgeball and the Globo Gym logo with the average Joes.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean that's your show.
Saboteur.
Indeed. So Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. The Gaming with Ash stuff, the Nintendo E3 stuff, even though it's goddamn late as shit, will be on its way to you probably tomorrow and everything.
Cool. Nice. So that's going to be the schedule from now on. Looks like it's going to be Sunday and Monday for Ashley content. We got Tuesday for Raw, Wednesday for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. Thursday is my only day on camera with Sip and Snack. Friday and Saturday will be AJ. So yeah, a lot of segments here on the network. Check it out. So that's going to be your show tonight. Follow us on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. And follow me on Twitter at Siro and Disney. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a Popcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. Continue to buy Bullet Club merchandise because we'll get more and more and more, and then it'll be wonderful. Hangman Page coming to Hot Topic in a couple of weeks, so July 17th. And then by August, brand new stuff coming that we haven't seen yet, including the Bullet Club zip-up hoodie and a new Elite shirt that's only exclusive to Hot Topic. So, and much more. So thank you, everyone, for listening, as always. Until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's all we got to say about that.
Somebody actually tweeted Samoa Joe got buried. He should just go back to TNA. Oh, my fucking God.